Whipple Family Misadventures Book 8 Ensure There Is No Sickness in the Mind or Heart Chapter 2. Wade could vividly remember the last time he saw Shadow deeply angry and upset, such as what was happening now. There was a layer of anger under it, the urge to make sure horrible things wouldn't happen to him again. It had not gone well, as the hedgehog had not fully mastered control of his powers, and they seemed to manifest in time of stress. Last time there were only minor injuries and a broken chair. He didn't want to find out if Shadow was strong enough to seriously injure someone or worse, cause damage to the building. He couldn't afford to deal with either of those situations happening. Since his arms were occupied, he used one foot to kick open the door leading toward the back of the clinic.
Someone please get him a sedative now.
No, I said I didn't.
I heard you.
Wade said calmly, holding him so he couldn't see them when they came in through the door. Although Wade knew he was aware they were there.
I just need you to calm down and not be so incredibly stressed out right now.
I can't.
Wade nodded as Maddie inserted the needle into Shadow's shoulder as he turned to snarl at her and as his muscles started slacking almost immediately.
Which is why this is going to help you.
It wasn't an easy decision for Wade to do this to him, but he couldn't let things get out of control to the point that someone would get hurt, or worse. There just wasn't any other option that worked. And it wasn't fair for Shadow to be pushed into a state where he felt he needed to lash out from fear and trauma. A horrible choice that didn't have a right answer no matter what he did.
Is he fully asleep?
Wade asked, lifting him up onto the steel table.
No, at least not at the moment,
Maddie said, reaching back to grab the rest of her supplies from the vet tech behind her.
Just not alert. He'll probably doze off as I work.
She spent a few minutes getting everything ready until she inserted the needle into the crook of Shadow's arm, and they both watched as a green liquid began to snake out and into the vial. Up until that moment, Wade had already heard about this, he hadn't actually seen it. There was a part of him that hoped this was an error, that she had somehow been wrong. Him having green blood sounded like something out of a science fiction movie. But now he could see with his own eyes there was no mistake. Maddie's face was grim as she finished getting the sample.
I don't have to look at it to say it's different. I'm still going to, but I can already say right off the bat, I'd be willing to bet money that under a microscope and without the testing, his blood will be very different from theirs.
Wade slowly inhaled.
Do you know why?
I was hoping you could tell me. I'll do some in-house testing here, but there's not a lot I can do. I don't want to send it out for outside testing because it will raise questions of where it came from and attention that we don't need.
Yeah.
Wade muttered. He watched as she gave him the 2 shots and then disposed of the needles.
He's going to need to start donating blood as soon as possible. I'd like to do the first bit today, while he's here and won't be upset about it.
Taken back, Wade blinked several times.
Right now?
If he's seriously injured, there's no one else who can donate blood to him. He'll have to have an emergency supply of frozen blood here, just in case. A supply that we'll have to build over time. I want to start that today.
After a second, Wade nodded, looking down at Shadow. Like she had predicted, it seemed like he had dozed off. Probably the only time he would be able to sleep with anyone talking above and around him.
We're already here. Might as well.
Maddie went back into the clinic and returned with some more equipment.
When you get him home and he's awake and alert again, make sure he drinks some water, has something to eat, and takes it easy for the rest of the day. In about another 2 months, we'll do another donation, and repeat that until we have enough that I feel like in an emergency, it would be a good supply.
She stopped, must have noticed he was barely listening.
Wade, you still with me?
Yeah, sorry. He's going to hate that.
I know,
Maddie said sympathetically, running her hand over Shadow's limp quills.
but I promise this is better than being caught off guard in a severe emergency.
Is there a chance the same thing would need to happen with Silver or Sonic? Building up a supply of their blood just in case?
I'm not sure. I haven't had the time to take a good in-depth look at their blood yet. I also don't know very much about hedgehog blood types yet. They could have the exact same and could be donors for each other if something happened. Or it could be the same as this, and I'll have to start doing this for all three of them. I'll get back to you on that.
I'm not sure. I haven't had the time to take a good in-depth look at their blood yet. I also don't know very much about hedgehog blood types yet. They could have the exact same and could be donors for each other if something happened. Or it could be the same as this, and I'll have to start doing this for all three of them. I'll get back to you on that.
Swallowing, Wade nodded.
There's got to be a better way to do this than this. Could we do this at my house? Or, I don't know.
You could bring him here a few times. Not for any procedure, just to get used to coming here.
Maddie suggested. From there, Maddie hooked up a different clear catch bag, and they watched for several minutes as it slowly filled with that strange green blood. When it finally got to a certain level, Maddie disconnected it, marked it with the date and Shadow's name.
I'm going to freeze this. Make sure he eats and drinks when he is back up.
Are we done?
She nodded.
Thanks for bringing them in.
Gently picking the limp hedgehog up, Wade made sure Shadow's head was resting comfortably.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
He told her before going back out the lobby. Silver was still holding that rabbit, cuddling it to his chest tenderly as he stroked its fur again and again.
If you can talk, you can tell me. I won't tell anyone. I promise.
Come on, buddy. Time to go.
Silver looked up.
Take my picture with him first.
All right, Silver.
One-handed, Wade managed to use his phone to snap a photo, and then put it away.
Let's go, Silver.
There was clear reluctance in his slow movement, but the little gray hedgehog gave the rabbit back to a vet tech, and the three of them left. The first thing Shadow became aware of was hearing his dad's voice, faint but got louder with each word.
You try to read this sentence.
Next he heard Silver's voice.
It needs the sun.
That's right, good job.
Managing to pry his eyes open, Shadow realized he was back home, stretched out on his back on the couch. His dad and Silver were nearby, reading from that book of plants he had gotten for his birthday. They both sounded very happy and content. Even before he looked in their direction, he knew that his brother would be cuddled up against their dad. Groaning, Shadow slowly stretched out his limbs, wiggling his fingers and toes.
Hey, pal. How do you feel?
Their dad said, noticing the movement.
Thirsty.
A glass of water and some crackers were brought to him, and he sipped at it until his throat was no longer dry but ignored the crackers.
The clinic? Blood draw?
Silver leaned toward him.
We already did that. And then Dad and I did grocery shopping while you were asleep. But look what we got at the store.
He pushed 2 candy bars under Shadow's nose.
I picked them out.
They are for after dinner. Go put them back in the kitchen, Silver.
I fell asleep.
Shadow asked as Silver jumped off the couch and went off to do that. Their dad nodded.
Kinda. You remember what happened? You weren't doing so well. So Maddie gave you a light sedative to help you relax, and you took a little nap. We got everything done that we needed to. Also, you need to eat those. Have something in your system.
Shadow rubbed at his eyes. His entire body felt sluggish and heavy. He didn't care for these sensations. He managed a few bites.
Why did you do that?
It was slowly coming back, the last few moments he could remember.
I didn't want that.
I know, I'm sorry. I just needed to make sure that everyone would be safe. You included. Because our options were we did this, and you would be okay, and not have to feel everything that came with what Maddie needed to do. Or there was no sedative, and we had to run the risk that you could have hurt someone because you were upset. Or damaged something really badly.
Looking down, Shadow thought about that. It made sense.
We could have just come home. That would have been better.
You still needed to have the blood drawn and gotten those shots. You're not going to be able to avoid medical care forever. It's going to have to happen. I'm sorry.
His dad shifted back on the couch. He really looked like he meant it, that he was sorry.
I just wanted everyone to be safe.
Something about that brought up a memory from a long time ago, back before he had come to this planet.
Because I'm a dangerous weapon.
Shadow said bluntly. A moment later, he wished he hadn't said that when he saw the pained expression that crossed his dad's face.
Where did you hear that from?
Someone said it once.
Shadow said. It was frustrating not knowing when it was said or exactly what was going on when they said it, but he still remembered. It had been nighttime, the lab had been dark and empty. He was in his area, had been attempting to sleep when he heard the lab door open and there was light and footsteps. Not sure what to do, he had stayed still, pretended like he was actually asleep when he wasn't.
Why is it so small?
A deep, unfamiliar voice growled.
It will grow. It's still very young, but it will grow. It will be a dangerous weapon as soon as I'm done. I promise. It won't happen in an instant, but it will happen.
The professor insisted, his voice taking on an almost desperate quality. His dad looked concerned.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Well, they were wrong. You're not a weapon.
Shadow frowned.
That's what the professor said. That wasn't the only time. He talked about it a lot. I was to be the ultimate life form. He had a lot of plans for me. Not anymore, though.
After a moment, he kept talking.
I still think about him. Not all the time, but sometimes. I want to talk to him, to ask him questions. Sometimes I want to yell at him. Sometimes I wish him dead all over again. Or other times, I just wish I could see him again.
He stared straight ahead.
But I can't.
His dad leaned over to rest his hand on his shoulder.
That must be difficult for you.
It's...
Shadow couldn't find the word to describe it.
I don't miss him. Most of the time. He was terrible. I'm glad he's dead.
He said as spitefully as he could, even though it wasn't completely true.
But I still want to know why.
It's okay to miss him, even if he was a horrible person. If you want the truth, I miss my father sometimes.
Shadow blinked up at him.
Charlie, why?
His dad shrugged.
I don't want him in my life now, but I remember what it was like when I was really young, and he was there. The stuff we did together when I was a little kid. Or sometimes I think of something, and I wish that he was a good person who wanted to be part of my life, and didn't want to be a complete jerk. I guess it's more accurate to say I miss the idea of what he could be, and mourn that sometimes. People are complex. It's okay to have complex feelings about them.
Frowning, Shadow thought about that for a long moment.
I guess.
He finally said. He felt his dad's hand ruffle his ears.
Are you going to be all right?
The darker hedgehog nodded.
So, what did Maddie find?
What?
You said earlier she wanted to check something. Did she do that?
When his dad hesitated, Shadow knew something more was going on. It was difficult not to worry about what that could mean.
She did. And you both are very healthy. There's nothing to worry about.
Shadow waited for the rest of it.
What was she looking for?
She wanted to compare all three of you guys' blood, and she did. She hopes she'll be able to learn more by studying it.
Focusing on his dad's gray eyes, Shadow stared at him calmly.
She found something else. Didn't she?
Something froze behind his dad's features.
Yeah, your blood is special. Really special.
Shadow looked down at the fabric of the couch. He had a feeling what that meant.
It's not like theirs, is it?
No, it's not.
The darker hedgehog sighed deeply. It wasn't what he wanted to hear, but he wasn't surprised. He didn't even want to know how it was different, why it was another thing that separated him from his brother and his friend and everyone else. His dad's hand came under his chin and tipped it up slightly.
You know what, though? It doesn't matter. I don't care about that. And neither does Silver, Maddie, Tom, Sonic, or anyone. I promise.
But
I know you are. I know. And I don't care. This doesn't change anything.
Shadow jerked his head away and let it hang, thinking it was easy for him to say. He wasn't the one who wasn't like anyone else in the world without a single reason or explanation why. All he could think about was the months while he was alone before he came to this town. Before he knew there were other hedgehogs and where he had thought he was the only one in the world truly different. And for a time it appeared he had been wrong. Except that had been an illusion to be shattered.
why am I like this?
I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know.
He reached out and then stopped.
Do you want a hug?
Shadow didn't know but knew Wade would like it, so nodded and was swept into his arms. He rested his head on his shoulder, being gently rocked back and forth.
Tell me how you feel, please. Don't keep this to yourself.
Terrible. I don't want to be different. Are you sure it doesn't matter?
Yes, absolutely. It does not matter. You are unique, and your brother is unique. And that's okay. I love you, just the way you are. Nothing is going to change.
In the back of his mind, Shadow thought that he was wrong. Something was going to change, he just knew it, but decided not to contradict him and stayed silent, doing his best to go along with the idea that everything would be all right.
Okay, Dad.
There's something you're going to have to do in the future at the clinic, but not today or anytime soon. We can talk about it more later.
Okay.
A look of concern came over his dad's face.
You want to help me make dinner?
He didn't know what else to do, so Shadow nodded and following him out to the kitchen.